gunshots go off, we immediately look around at each other in shock, and then we get down once a couple more go off shortly after.
2 officers were shot and killed in a shooting at Bridgewater College today. The suspect later taken into custody. You can see that moment here, this video taken by a viewer. I'm Chelsea Church. Thank you for joining us. There's still a lot of information we do not know yet, but let's get right out to the scene now. WHSV's Bob Greavy and Kyle Rogers both join us live this evening. They've been out there all afternoon working to keep us updated. So what can you guys tell us?
Yeah, Chelsea, we've been out here on campus for more than 4 hours now, and students actually only got out of their classrooms here at Bridgewater College just about 2 hours ago. Some of them were in their classroom all afternoon. We've been outside Memorial Hall and Flory Hall on East College Street, and just in the last half hour, Kyle, Bridgewater College officials confirming to students through an email.
We've obtained a letter from what appears to be from Bridgewater College's president, who has confirmed to students just what a sad and somber day this was, and saying that there have been 2 law enforcement officers that work here on campus who have passed away after the incident happened. And I know you were one of the first people here on scene. It's been a situation unfolding for hours. So just walk us through what happened when you got here, and we'll have more information.
Right, yeah. Bridgewater College put out a tweet about 1:24 saying that there was an active shooter situation on campus. We came out here, East Market Street, between 3rd and 4th Street, East College Street, and what we found was a perimeter of police tape all the way around Memorial Hall and also Flory Hall. And we have some video that we can show folks at home here of what the scene looked like. Now, when we got here, Virginia State Police, Rockingham County Sheriff's Office, also Harrisonburg Police was out here as well. And they wouldn't confirm to us at that time what happened. We knew there was a shooting, but they wouldn't confirm it. They did say the investigation was ongoing and is an active crime scene at that point. Now, we do know at 1:55 today, the suspect was taken into custody in an armed situation. From the photograph that we saw and the video that a viewer has sent us, the suspect did not seem to be armed at the time he was apprehended, but he was certainly surrounded by multiple law enforcement agencies from multiple jurisdictions at gunpoint. And we mentioned the students being in the classroom all that time. Kyle, you spoke to many of them this afternoon.
This apparently was happening in between, or right as classes were about to end, some were about to start. One startling comment a student told me today, he said, if it had been 5 minutes earlier, I would have been out there. Instead, they were in their classrooms. I want to show you some video we got earlier today. I talked to a couple of students as they were coming out of the buildings. They were in there for 2 hours as they were locked down in place. Here's what they had to say.
We were all just sitting in our class, and then all of a sudden we just heard a gunshot. We thought maybe someone ran into something, and then all of a sudden we heard another 2, and everyone just dropped to the floor. We all just dropped and laid in the building, barricaded ourselves, and just waited it out until everyone got here to help us.
It was crazy. I mean, we was just in class learning our lesson like we normally do. Tuesdays, we're usually in the lecture room. Thursdays, we're not normally even in there, which threw us off crazy, but we just heard gunshots go off. We immediately look around at each other in shock, and then we get down once a couple more go off shortly after. Our door doesn't even lock, so it makes it so we were all confused, scared, worried about what we should do.
It's just a tragic day here in Bridgewater College, filled with sadness. It's been very somber here ever since I got here early this afternoon. As students were leaving the buildings after being sheltered in place there for several hours, you could tell many of them saw something traumatic as they looked outside their window. And many were crying as they were coming out of their classroom. We saw some students holding hands, comforting each other as they were coming out of their classrooms. And we spoke to a group of history students, and they were saying none of us were really friends until now. This is a situation that brought them together because right outside their classroom, they heard those gunshots, some saying 4 to 5 gunshots. Just terrifying situation. And Of course, they were getting a lot of messages from their loved one, concerned, because this is a story that's gone national. We have media here from the national networks. We've been seeing the helicopters here from, Washington, D.C.
And also those students texting their loved ones saying, I love you. I want you to know I'm in a classroom. And this shooting happened right outside.
And the one student was choked up. He's like, I texted my mom or a loved one saying, I love you. And to imagine that they were in that situation where that was the text they were sending, not knowing what was going on. We should be very clear that at this point, Virginia State Police, they have not confirmed any information to us yet as far as the officers involved. Again, we did obtain a letter that was sent to students and faculty at Bridgewater College that said 2 officers who worked at the college were shot and killed today in this incident. We are waiting for state police to confirm that and to maybe release the identity. But I did speak to one college student here. She's a senior who knew one of the officers involved and describes him as just a very kind man. And she shared some sentiments and choked up. Because you got to keep in mind, this is a small campus. There's about 1,500, maybe a little more students that go here. So everyone kind of knows everybody. But it's just truly such a somber, sad day here at Bridgewater.
And by the way, Kyle, we also saw that emotion on the faces of many law enforcement out here as well. We know their faces as well. And this was a situation where it's a tight brotherhood and sisterhood, a fraternity for law enforcement, and they lost 2 today.
It's just incredibly tough for them. Again, a heavy police presence. As you can tell, it's still an active scene here. They still have evidence markers up in front of, I believe it's Flory Hall, I think is the building where they spent much of their time today. So as soon as we get more information, we've been expecting a press conference from police for a couple of hours now. Understandably, they are very busy. So as soon as we are able to bring it to you live, we will tonight here on WHSP.
All right,
Chelsea?
Bob and Kyle, thank you for keeping us updated. Our heart goes out to everyone affected by this incident. Now, this is a story we will continue to cover. We will bring you the latest updates on air and